if the Eagles actually trade out of the first round, my only request is this. Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, Dingbat here. If the Eagles actually trade out of the first round, then I need them to do and get this one thing in order for me to get behind it. Otherwise, I'm going to tell you exactly who I'm taking today in this video. Now, before we get into the Eagle stuff, we got to look at this because this is hilarious to me. All right, breaking. The Pound Patriots are trading quarterback Joe Milton III to the Pound Cowboys. Multiple sources tell at NFL on Fox. Let me tell you this. If the Dallas Cowboy fans thought they had a quarterback, controversy and people calling for a quarterback to come in with Trey Lance, you just watch with Joe Milton. Joe Milton actually has talent. He actually has some talent. And if he goes to the right team and is developed by the right people, I think he could actually play in this league. And now the Cowboys got him. What's going to happen when Dak Prescott goes out there and chokes a game, puts up one of his beautiful, epic interceptions in a crunch time, in prime time? People are going to start calling for Joe Milton. I think the Cowboy fans, I think they're in for a rude awakening this year. I think they're going to be hurting this year when I think their team's going to be a disaster. I'm just saying. Just keeping it real. I think Cowboys finish probably third place, possibly last place, because the Giants are too stupid to rebuild the right way, and they're going to actually win too many games this year. And when I say too many, I mean like 6, 7, and I think the Cowboys win somewhere around 8, 9 maybe, if they're lucky. But who cares? I think this was a hilarious trade. If the Eagles would have traded for Milton, that would have made way more sense because there's no controversy no matter what. But people are getting fed up with Dak and all the losing in Dallas. We'll see. We'll see. I'm sure Mark Holmes is going to do damage control. I'm almost positive of it. Now, here's what I want to say. The one thing I don't expect the Eagles to do out of every possible scenario in the draft is to stay at 32. I think that's the most unlikely scenario. I think the most likely scenario is the Eagles are going to go up in the draft and get their guy. Who's the guy? That's the question. But what if the Eagles trade out of the first round? What is an acceptable return for you? Because to me, I'm going to tell you. Well, actually, let me show you this. Because ESPN did a mock draft with trades and stuff. And this is what they had the Eagles doing. I thought this was very interesting. 2025 NFL mock draft with all trades, deals for round 1 picks. So they have the Eagles trading out of the first pick in the draft, okay? And in return, the Eagles get this. The Eagles get a second round pick, number 51, a 2026 first round pick from the Broncos, and the Broncos get the 32nd pick and a third round pick, 96. Now, they go on to say the Eagles have been paid handsomely for their willingness to be patient in the past. They had similar move with the Saints in 2022, adding draft capital while swapping the 16th pick for a future first rounder. The Saints pick in 2023 was better when the Philly shipped off, allowing the Eagles to move up to number 10 to select Jalen Carter. Blah, 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 blah. Anyways, my point is this. This is the first draft, or mock draft I've ever seen, or at least this year, that I say I would do this. I would consider this. If the Eagles made this move and that trade, I would be okay with it. Here's why. If the Eagles are going to go out of the first round, then to me, okay, they've got to come away with a first round pick next year. I don't mind trading out of the first round, but I can't do it for like a second and a fifth or second and a fourth. I need a future first round pick. So I need a 2026 first round pick. You get me a first round pick next year, I'll consider doing it. Now, of course, I would want something else for this year, so maybe a late second, early third, but I need that 2026 first round pick. And depending upon what team it is, I may want it even more because there are just some teams that aren't going to be that good. Now, with the Broncos, they could be pretty decent, so it could be in the second half of the first round. But if you still have 2 second half first round picks like the Eagles will next year, you could move up and get somebody you really want. So I would consider it. The only way I would trade out of that first round pick is I got to come away with a first round pick in 2026. So I essentially have 2 first round picks in 2026. Otherwise, I'm not interested in doing it. I'm going to go up. I'm going to trade up. And the question is that I keep being asked, who am I taking in this draft? Well, if the draft falls the way we expect it to, where a guy like Tyler Warren is off the board, okay, and not in range for the Eagles to really be able to trade up and get him, the pick that I'm making, the guy I'm taking, and I'm probably trading up for him, the guy I'm taking is Nick Amenwori. That would be my pick. Nick Amenwori. Now, that's my personal opinion. I like Nick Amenwori as the best safety. However, if they took Malachi Starks, I would not mind as well. I think it's arguably safe to say that the Eagles could feel Malachi Starks is a better fit for them and for what they want. Some people look at Amenwori and look at him being 220 pounds and think, he's more of a strong type safety. The old strong type safety's going to have problems in coverage, things like that. I don't believe so. I believe he's so athletic. I don't think he's going to have a problem covering, and I think he's a guy that will be down. He will be on the field at all times. All right? Now, one of the arguments against Malachi Starks has been this whole RAS score, right? The relative athletic score. I couldn't find his actual score, but we do know that it wasn't that great. And I only bring it up because a lot of people say that the Eagles care about this whole test, okay? I'm not sure how much I buy that, but that's what people say. Well, if that's true, and you look at Nick Amenwori's RAS score, it's perfect. It's perfect. Nick Power, Georgia, I can't pronounce their names. I'm not even going to try. Combine winner, South Carolina safety Nick Amenwori. He delivered one of the most athletic performances in Combine history. This is true. He netted a perfect 10.0 relative athletic score, a rare feat that marks him as a potential first-round pick. All right, he scored perfect on it. The guy is fast. The guy is big. He reminds me of Derwin James. So people ask me, who am I taking? I'm taking Nick Amenwori. Now, if the Eagles take Malachi Starks, I have no issue, okay? None. I have Nick and I have Malachi, all right? I don't have them far off. But Nick is such a great athlete, and I think he can do everything, and I think he could play on the field, be on the field no matter what. He's a great tackler, too. I think he could cover, but people are going to worry about him and his size. Malachi Starks, I think he's more of a coverage safety, and maybe the Eagles like that, especially when they look at Reed Blankenship. Now, you may be saying, well, why are you going to get safety? We need defensive line. Defensive line is the easy pick that, everybody thinks we should get. That's the easy one. The defensive line is very, very deep, and I believe edge rushers are going to go very quick. But I have a lot of faith in Nolan Smith. I have a lot of faith in Jalix Hunt. I believe these guys are players. I have a lot of faith in this coaching staff that they could develop guys. So I could get a guy in the second round and develop him as a pass rusher. I think he'll be decent. I think that it's a deep enough draft where you can find edge rushers and defensive tackles in the mid-rounds that will be effective. I also think there's going to be a huge run early in the first round on edge rushers because everybody's seeing what Myles Garrett's making, what Mike is about to make. They're going to want to get guys on rookie contracts. And the Eagles may want to too. That's why they may want an edge rusher. But I think for immediate need, for a team that needs to plug and play a guy, You need a safety. You have a giant hole at safety. Now, some people believe in Sidney Brown and his kid sign or whatever kind sign, whatever they call it. I can't vouch for either one of those guys as being ready to play and be your starting safety. But if I got Nick Amenwori and I plugged him in, now I have myself a safety. Very athletic safety. Up there with the Q's athletic ability, with Coop's athletic ability. And he's a rookie safety. Let him start as a rookie. Now I can focus on Reed Blankenship's contract extension. Boom. My secondary is good. Except we'll just have to worry about that one outside corner spot. But other than that, I'm locked down for the next 5 to 8 years. Okay? That's what I like about getting a safety first. I think it would be an immediate help. Now, if that's Malachi Starks, I think he'll be ready to go. He may be more ready right now than Nick Amenwori. But Nick Amenwori's potential and upside to me is greater. I gotta take a safety in the first round. That's got to be my choice. Now, I'm not tied to it, like locked into it no matter what. Of course, things happen. You have to see how the draft falls. But if it falls like the way I think it's going to fall, I think that those guys are worth trading up for. That will not only be a position in need, but a position that will help your team in the long run. So I think you're getting talent and need connected together, and that's a very rare thing that happens. It happened last year for us, and if it happens again this year, I would say it happened the last 2 years for us, where we've got need and best player available being that same position. And I think that you can get that again with safety. It's just my 2 cents, what I think. Let me know what you guys think. With that said, take care. Talk to you later, of course. Don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's how I vision, baby. We're all just living in it.
Oh, God. No. I want to be like the Eagles.
So just a quick reminder that right now, the Jalen Hurts Main Thing shirts, MVP, they are flying right now. We just got some more t-shirts in. We still have hoodies. We also got the premium one. Everybody's been liking that. So I just want to let you guys know, in the description, if you're down, if you want to get this piece of history, you still have time because they're still available, and definitely don't miss out. These are my favorite merchandise that we have done. And listen, I haven't even got mine yet. Okay, because they've been going so fast with people buying them that I haven't even got mine yet. I'm gonna have to wait, but everybody loves it, so check it out. Denzel Washington out. That's all, folks.
The brother screwed us.